Hello my friends, I'm Rich Larson and I'm the IRC Tire Guy. Today we'll be continuing our clutch control progression with 3 drills that every advanced rider can do. Now last week we released 3 clutch control drills every rider should have mastered, which you can check out right here. Those 3 basic clutch control drills I recommend mastering before attempting these. If you have those first 3 drills mastered, these advanced drills will be much easier. So make sure to check those out if you haven't seen them already. Before we start, one question I always get on every clutch control drill I put out is, are these drills hard on your clutch? The answer is yes, they are, but it's no harder on your clutch than hard enduro. Of course, slipping and dragging your clutch is much harder on the plates than not using it at all. In technical situations, all my control comes from my clutch, and your ability to master all these drills will drastically affect your ability to not only control your machine, but also save your clutch in the long run. The better you are with your clutch control from mastering these drills, the more momentum you can hold, and thus the less strain is put on your plates. As an example, my previous Gas 300 had over 200 hours of hard enduro on the original plates and showed no sign of slipping. My current Beta 300 has near 100 hours on the stock plates and is still going strong. The point is, it's amazing how tough these bikes are. So let's get into it with learning a stationary front end lift and getting that bike straight up and down in the air. This drill is about being completely comfortable with the control of your machine. I use my ability to do this in those extremely steep situations. I need to be comfortable with having my front end straight up and down, especially in those high-risk scenarios. If my bike is straight up and down and I panic because I don't have this clutch control dialed, things can get bad really quick. Now, this is also the beginning of our slow wheelie hack, which we have done a breakdown on that you can check out right here. But briefly, first, I recommend practicing this on a very slight uphill. This will allow gravity to assist in holding your machine back and preventing the bike from flying out from under you when committing to getting that front tire into the air. Gravity also holds the bike in one position when slipping the clutch. Now, when trying to get that front end up quickly, I also highly recommend using both front and rear brakes to assist with your suspension compression and rebound. My left foot is planted and my right foot is holding the rear brake. I'm holding both front and rear brakes and driving my hips forward to compress my front suspension. As my hips are driving forward, my clutch is in and I'm holding a steady throttle. It doesn't require that much power to get the machine up. The goal is to use as little throttle as possible. We're looking for that pure traction to the rear tire when releasing that clutch to get that front end up. Notice how little my rear tire spins as the front end goes into the air. That's the goal. Because I'm driving my hips and weight forward to compress my front suspension, we're looking to time that quick release of the clutch simultaneously with the rebound of the suspension, in addition to the snap of my hips and body weight back towards the rear tire. Again, there's a lot happening all at once. Now, the shorter you are or the smaller your inseam is, the quicker that front end needs to come up and that machine has to come out from under you. When the bike is straight up and down, your height really doesn't matter. But for you shorter riders, getting it there is the hard part. This means we need full commitment. You can also use something to stand on, like a few boulders, to give that extra height. The goal here is to be able to lift that front end and set it down on command. This is great practice for that quick snap clutch control, as well as holding that clutch in the friction zone. Again, this is about control, not just with the clutch, but with body position, suspension, compression, and rebound, and finding efficiency with everything together. When the front tire is up, I'm using a slight slip of the clutch to hold the machine in one place. But if you're on flat ground, gravity isn't there to assist you, so the focus is more on finding that balance point immediately with your machine. speed. The goal is to be able to do this anywhere, on flat ground or on an incline. It does take time and practice. Now, adding on to that drill, we practice walking behind the machine up and down a hill. This is taking the drill of rolling back and forth on an incline to a higher level, doing it with the front tire in the air. Once you've mastered getting that front tire up and standing behind the machine, now we learn how to find that very fine friction zone with your clutch control and move the bike forward. I'm using a steady throttle and focus on being precise with my clutch. We don't want the bike to just jerk out away from us. The goal is to be smooth. This is a good one for all you riders that use recluse auto clutches. You can't really do this drill with all throttle. You need that extra control of your clutch to find that smoothness. Riders with auto clutches tend to not have a developed clutch finger. This is a really good drill to find out how good you are with your clutch. Rolling the bike backwards requires an even finer clutch control. Finding the right slip in to allow gravity to pull the bike backwards, but not enough to drop the front end. This again is about complete control. The final drill is a balanced stationary wheelie. This is one of the most advanced clutch control drills that I will admit is probably the hardest on your clutch. But this full understanding of clutch control comes into play at the highest level of hard enduro. This is the same slip and balance that I use to hold traction in those technical situations. The better you are at this, the better you will be when the going gets tough. When trying this drill, I recommend using an obstacle with a little undercut. This will assist you when holding that balance point. The bigger the ledge, the easier it is. First, I recommend finding the right throttle and slip of the clutch to hold the front tire in one place. Start with both feet off. Get comfortable, then add the addition of one foot to the peg. I recommend first adding the right foot. This may look easy, but you'll find even adding one foot requires a high level of balance and understanding of that friction zone with your clutch. Much like our practice of static balance when attempting to add the left foot to the peg, the slower the better. You should be balancing before your left foot leaves the ground. Now, of course, you should have every one of the previous drills mastered before you move on to this final drill. This is rough on your clutch, so if you choose to attempt this drill, let it cool down in between attempts. I hope you guys are inspired to work on that clutch control with these drills. In fact, I'd recommend practicing each drill from the last two episodes as a progression. Balance, body position, suspension, compression and rebound, then clutch control. Work on each drill till you master it, then move on to the next. I guarantee it will make a huge difference in your riding. If you're enjoying the channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as follow us on Instagram at IRC Moto and my personal Instagram page at RichLarson511. And until next time, keep shredding.